Yo, what is going on? So, I actually just wanted to check out the App Store real quick, look at a couple of games here, but also uh, wanted to talk about why you will never win a games as a service. So, whatever game that you're playing, that's a serviced game. So, basically, a game as a service, right? Games as a service. You're never going to win when it comes to games as a service. And I'll explain. First off, games as a service, when you really think about it and you think about like a complete product, a game can be polished but also incomplete, you know? It can be polished, it can be well developed, but it can technically never be finished. That's what a games as a service is. You cannot actually win any game that is a games as a service because it is constantly in service. You know what I mean? There will always be maintenance, there will always be things that can be improved upon. It's not just like you play the game, you beat the mega boss, end credits, and that's it, you're done. And then, new game plus or whatever, right? No. That's why people have the term end game, right? Because as it's still a game in service, there's still things that players are going to want to do. Therefore, you really can't just win. You can't just like, all right, well, I'm just going to package it up now. I beat everything. The boss is dead. The world is saved. I 100%ed everything. There's nothing to 100% when it's a games as a service. Okay? Because it's a business. The entire point is profit, people paying money. So there isn't anything to win. Now, along with that, since you cannot win any game that is a games as a service, this also means that there's nothing to win when it comes to pay to win. You can't win anything. You're just paying, right? There's, ways that you can progress faster by paying, of course. You can get very cool digital items, digital products and whatnot, cosmetics, etc. But you're not going to win anything. You're just giving them money, right? Now, if you're okay with that, you're okay with that. I think it's important to understand the distinction here. Any game that is a games as a service is not a game that you will ever win. There is no winning. There's no end to it until the service itself is terminated. When it's end of service, that's the end of game, but you don't win. Everybody loses, actually, when it's end of service. Everybody loses because all of it's done. It is never a finished product when it is a games as a service. And I hope people can understand that and realize that when you really think about it, it's true. There's nothing to win when it's a games as a service. It is a continuous cycle, and that's how it is. Now look at it versus when you've had, games in the past, Nintendo 64, PlayStation, Xbox, packaged games. The physical ones, you take them home, you play them. They're not online serviced games. They're not games as a service. They're fully completed games. They're done, all packaged. So that's that. But when it's an online game that's completely serviced, and that's for why a lot of them want it to be online and completely serviced. It's basically, that's the way you make the money. You know what I mean? If it's a packaged game, that's it. You buy it and you're done, right? But games as a service, that's continuous revenue. You just keep that money rolling in. But I think a lot of people are getting a lot of things confused when it comes to games as a service. Like they don't get it. They go into it thinking that there's something to be won. I think a lot of players do that when there's nothing to be won. And if they have the understanding and the perspective that the money that they're throwing in is going to a bottomless pit, and as long as they're getting whatever satisfaction that they're getting out of it, and they don't mind throwing their money into a bottomless pit, then that's completely fine, right? But for everybody else that thinks that there's actually something to win, You're going to be disappointed. There's nothing to be won. You are going to constantly be striving to win something that is unwinnable until it eventually hits end of service. And that's going to be that. Like, I'm not trying to like destroy dreams. I'm not trying to crush dreams or anything like that. I just want people to understand the reality of things, man. I don't have a problem with games as a service because I know what it is. When I play a game, I'm not trying to play it to win because I know there's nothing to be won. I'm playing it to enjoy it. And everyone enjoys games differently, you know? But I don't go in it to win, you know, because I know that you can't win. It will never be a complete product as long as it's a games as a service, because the fact that it is as a service, those keywords as a service, that means you will never win. As a service means you will not win, because that's the point. Constant flowing, constantly serviced product, meaning there is no end. There's only maintenance and then more, and then maintenance and then more. And eventually, when it's no longer profitable, end of service, where everybody loses. So hopefully there's an understanding here. Hopefully people get the point, and hopefully people will go into games with a better perspective and understanding, and just, you know, have these expectations in mind whenever you're dealing with games as a service. Like I said, games as a service, I think it's fine. It's a fine business model. It makes, you know, it makes people money. Hey, it's business, you know, capitalism. We're not going to get into that, but you know what I mean? So, you know, but people need to understand there's nothing to be won. So when people are saying, you know, pay to win, I mean, no one's winning anything. You're just paying. there's no winning. You're just paying. But if you're getting satisfaction out of it, like, I guess you should say pay to satisfy is probably a better way of putting it, right? Pay to satisfy. If you feel satisfaction in being stronger than other people, okay, there you go. Pay to satisfy, right? Or other people have used the term pay to progress. You know, that can work too. But you're not winning anything. There's always going to be another boss. There's always going to be another level. Or it's just going to be end of game, or the game's just going to be abandoned and not serviced at all. So the end game is really just everybody just running around doing the same things over and over, but there's nothing to be won. Like, there's stagnation. If you think winning is reaching a point of stagnation, I mean, if that's, you know, but I don't think everyone agrees with that. But yeah, so, you know, it's unfortunate that it's that way, but people just need to understand like what you're getting yourselves into. You know, games as a service, you know, as a service means unfinished product. Like I said, it can be polished, but still be unfinished. I'm not saying that it's an unfinished product as in it's unplayable. I'm saying it's an unfinished product as in there is no end to the product until it's also the end of the service. So it's going to be literally unfinished until the service is dead and canceled, right? You can't just continue playing once the service ends. That's it. You're done, you know? But, you know, my old PlayStation games, my packaged PlayStation games, I can continue playing those till the end of time. Like, I don't have to worry about a service ending and me no longer having access to it. I can play it forever, you know? And, you know, a couple different things kind of made me think about this topic. One in particular, because I had a favorite game, a favorite mobile game, favorite gacha game. Lynn the Lightbringer. Some of you may remember it. Some of you may know of it. Yeah, when that ended of service, I was so devastated. I was like, oh no, I love this game. It literally was my favorite gacha, like, of all time. And sadly it ended, and, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, so I was just thinking, you know, about end of service and games as a service and the fact that people don't win stuff up. That's the phone, but you guys get the point. So yeah, games as a service, there's nothing to win, and I guess that's it for now. Later.